Hi everybody and welcome back to Apple Cottage. This is Sandy and I am Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming. I live a self-sustaining life here in Wyoming and I would like to share that with you. Now it's gardening together this morning and I have been so pondering people that live in apartments on how they can be more self-sustaining, and of course you see all the things in the news right now. And how does an apartment dweller deal with that kind of stuff? Well, let's look outside your apartment for a second. Almost in every city, there's community gardens. Sometimes there are churches that have space that will allow people to do gardens in their space. There are people that do guerrilla gardening. If you don't know what that is, it's when you are planting things without really asking permission, but you are planting things in alleyways, in parks, in vacant lots, and you don't ask permission, you just do it anyway. Now, you're not hurting anybody, and it's not costing anybody any money. But sometimes the city will tell you no, so people that guerrilla garden just don't even ask. So those are options. But even in Los Angeles, which is a huge city, they have lots and lots of community gardens. In fact, I understand that they have a community garden that is 7 acres. So if you live in a large city, look and see what kind of garden space are available. You might have family or friends that somebody owns a house with a property, and so that you could garden in that space when they're not using it and maybe share some of that produce. If you live in an apartment, you might have a neighbor that you're friends with. Maybe they know somebody that has some garden space. If you're lucky enough to live in an apartment but in a rural area, it will be much easier for you to find space. But I think that's something you need to look in today. Look into community gardens this week, because there are signups beforehand, and then those spaces fill up, and so sometimes you're even on a waiting list. So it's important that you start signing up for those opportunities now. If there's a vacant lot in your town, a lot of times you can go to the city and you can tell them that you would like to garden in that space. A lot of times you do have to clean it up, do soil tests, and you might have to put a membrane down and cardboard because of what is in the soil, and garden in raised beds. But there's still options to garden. Now, let's go into your apartment. Now, depending on where you are in that apartment complex, you may have direct sun or you may not have direct sun. But there's a lot of vegetables, though they won't grow to their fullest, they will still grow even though it's indirect light. If you have a balcony, don't just think about what pots you can put out there, but also think vertically. Can you put shelves on your balcony? Can you do like a pallet system, and in between those pallets you're putting dirt and you have a membrane on the back so that you can grow some vegetables, strawberries, different things on that pallet system. I always suggest that you have fruit trees on a balcony. Now, of course, you're only going to get the fruit in the summertime, unless you live south and you have like lemon and lime trees, which fruit different times during the year. But it's still something a produce that you can use later. Now, inside, take every window that's available. Have shelves or hanging baskets in which that you can grow vegetables or fruits in. Now, other than that, you can use lighting systems. Fluorescent tubes, grow lights, broad spectrum lights. But as an apartment dweller, I think probably your best bet is a hydroponic system, either that you've bought or that you've you know, homemade ones. And I've tried different homemade ones. I've done ones that were just in totes, and I used an air bubbler so the water was circulating with great success. I've even tried the system that you use a garbage can and you use a mister and it sprays and it's on a timer. And it's still the same kind of hydroponic system that's built into the sides of the garbage can. And that works well too. And very efficient water-wise. But if you can afford it, buying a hydroponic system can be so, you can grow so many vegetables. One of our girls has a hydroponic system that's very vertical. It's, oh, it must be about 2.5 feet wide. Has lights that come down, and it has a lot of vegetables that you can grow. And think outside the box. It doesn't have to just be lettuce. There's a lot of things you can grow in a hydroponic system. Peppers, tomatoes, just all kinds of vegetables. But lettuce is an easy one to grow. Grow a lot of herbs. And that system works all year round, and you're just replacing the plugs as the plants are finished, and that can be very, in the long run, very economical. Sometimes it's a little bit of a sticker shock on some of the units when you first buy them, but if you think in the long term of how many years you're going to have that and how much produce you're going to produce from those systems, really when you break that down, it's not bad. Plus, there's not soil, and it can work really well. So those are options. Now, as an apartment dweller, I think everyone in America needs to have some food storage. And that doesn't really have to do with gardening unless you use some of that produce and you can it, and that goes into your food storage. But as an apartment dweller, always make sure you have rice and beans and cans of soup, noodles, comfort foods. Because things happen in life. You lose your job, you get, the main breadwinner gets sick, there's accidents, there's weather. It's always good to have. And so I just hope this week, as an apartment dweller, you just really consider the possibilities and get ahead of the game. So this is Sandy at Apple Cottage. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you on Tuesday for gardening together, or on Thursday for gardening together. Today's Tuesday. Oh, busy week. In fact, this weekend was so crazy busy. I taught a gardening class at the library, 57 people, plus my helpers. And that was a fun class. And then Sunday was just one thing after another. So busy, busy, busy. But this week looks like it's going to be like that all week long. So, but I will see you Thursday for gardening together if I don't see you before. And have a great day.